Only 85 views last time, but I didn't promote it at all. So those are all organic views. That's good. 5,500 followers. That's good. I promoted the last recorded one. That was good.
Let's see how I look today. I left my New York Knickerbockers hat in my friend's car that I have to take care of. But today I'm going to be in a full-blown MAGA mood from the fifth dimension of space.
Um, okay, good. It's showing as split screen. We didn't do that on our last recording.
On live, we're live now.
The live is split screen. The last recording we did, it did not.
Full-blown MAGA mood from the fifth dimension of
Is
space.
that you with the echo?
Um,
Okay, good. Echo one time. Split screen. Didn't do that on our last recording.
Sorry, I pressed mute.
Why is it not allowing you to look at messages? Join the conversation to interact with the creator of the watching. Okay, so I'm here. Okay. So we're doing pretty good. We have over 5,500 subscribers at this point, which to me is a fairly good place to be after only having been doing this for 3 or 4 months. We, like Trump, have hit our 100 days. And I'm gonna give like 2 or 3 more minutes if anybody want to join us, because we did have some people join us last time. We got 3 watching already. That's good. Appreciate the support. Thank you guys. We're getting more and more support.
Shout out to my Aunt Debbie, who's going to watch this live again. Happy Mother's Day to her and everybody else.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
And fathers, right, Leo? You're the mother and the father. That's what the women say. You want to say it too?
You'd be surprised how many Mother Days I've gotten over the last years, man.
Are we live? We
Yes.
live, yeah, because I messed up over here. All right, cool. Yeah, because we have a lot to talk about as everywhere. Donald Trump is at it again.
Oh my
And so
God.
is Kennedy, Backsmock Bobby. Kennedy killed it this week. That's a funny guy. Hopefully, I get to show my clip today because he was really funny what he said about Snap.
Oh no, wait. I'll let you lead with it, because I'm sure I'm gonna have questions.
Okay.
One thing I know, I'm gonna have questions.
So you're gonna do your intro, outro? What are we doing here?
You know that always. Okay, it's not allowing me to make my life easy. Just letting people know to come join us. And then I guess we can get started. Okay. So we push this out the way. Oh, I need that. That's my list. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Give me 1 more minute and we're about to kick it off live here. All right. Welcome to the Think Tank. It is now May 11th, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Here at the Think Tank, we like to use creative thinking. Whoa, Zoom open it. See that?
Rewind.
All right. So welcome to the Think Tank. We use creative reasoning, deductive. Wow, I can't even get my opening going. Mother's Day got me. I'm
That's
without my
right.
mother, and
Because you're both the mother and the father. That's the single mom say. So the single fathers have to say it too. Leo, thank you for being the mother and the father. Go ahead with the think tank.
welcome to the Think Tank. We use creative reasoning. Oh my God, I can't get it. Deductive reasoning, picture common sense for. Oh man, I'm just not going to get it today.
Looks
It's
like
just not going to
that.
happen.
Looks like that bottle of Henny for Mother's Day is, kicking in.
And I do this 3, 4 times a week. That's terrible. We'll give it one more chance because we got a lot to talk about. It's serious because Donald Trump is really kicking it off. Welcome to the Think Tank. We use creative reasoning, deductive reasoning, and picture common sense to draw unbiased logical conclusions. I apologize. I'm off my game today. I'm off my rocker a little bit.
That's what happens when you have to be the mother and the father at the same time, like that guy. I got no kids,
stuff
by
like
the
that.
way, and that's why I'm District Leader Dion Powell of the 78th Assembly District here in the Bronx, New York. As you can see, I'm in a MAGA mood. I left my New York Knickerbockers hat in my friend's car. I am a Knicks fan, but I don't watch games because I was emotionally and psychologically damaged from the 90s and early 2000s. I don't watch any games for those post-traumatic, Knickerbocker, effects of all the arguments and passion and Jordan and this and that, the third. Now, if they win the chip this year, God bless them. Once they do, then maybe, just maybe, I come back and invest my, you know, emotional juices to pay attention with my time. But enough about New York Knickerbockers. We're here to talk politics and politics and civic engagement. Back to you, Leo. What were
Well,
you
once we're in complete agreement, man, the Knickers killed me. The Knickers, I said, Knickers.
the Knickerbockers. Remember that one? No, New
Oh
York,
man.
no, New York, no. All those Chicago Bull fans of the 90s. This is what I got to say to you.
All right. So what was you talking about with this Maha man?
Ah, yes. One of the things to talk about too is Kennedy's trying to get rid of candy and sodas and all the, we all know they're bad anyway, but he's not such a crackpot. Items being paid from your food stamps or snack benefits. So, if I may, Leo, I like to request to share my screen so the world could see the psychology of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the Black Spot Bobby, make America healthy again, or as I say, Mahaga, make America healthy and great again. Let me see if he allows me to share my screen. Ah, beautiful. So now, let me share, share sound as you have to do in Zoom. As you can see, this is from Twitter X, or the X as it were. Let me share what Mr. Kennedy has to say about these cuts to SNAP, paying for your kids' candies and your delicious sodas. Here we go.
And again, Secretary Rollins had the soda industry come and knock on her door very much, very loudly, and they said to her, well, the SNAP program is not supposed to be about nutrition. She pointed out to them that there is no nutrition in a soda. And they said, well, it's not supposed to be about nutrition. And she said to them, the name of the program is supplemental nutrition. It is about nutrition.
And that answers that, family. So if you're crying that your food stamps don't pay for your kids' soda and snacks and all those candies that rot their teeth, more so their brains, once again, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. gets it right as your Secretary of Health and Human Services. What do you have to say about that logic, Leo?
A lot. Now, I'm a parent, apparently. One of my corny jokes, but it's not a misoma. I'm a single parent. I've been a single parent for my daughter's 23. She's about to be 24. She moved in with me when she was 7. When she turned 16, I had another one. So I've been a single parent to a child for 14 years.
Thank you for
Right.
your service.
So here's what I got to say about that. No, that's not correct. First of all, there are things in the food that are not healthy. However, sugar is actually a requirement for mental and physical function. Period. This is coming from somebody who used to teach biology.
So
Oh, here we
he is the
go.
crackpot for doing this, for taking away funding for your food stamps, for your soda and your candy. So once again, candy's crazy, right?
Well, if you have children, you're
Okay,
saying that they
I'll
can
have to get
only eat, if you're saying that they can only eat healthy, they can't have a little reprieve from that home cooked meal. They can't get a little snack. They can't have snacks. Like, really? Oh, I know what
the
you're going to
man
say.
didn't
What
say
about
that.
fruits?
The man didn't say that. He said soda and candy. So far, he didn't say the juices. Now did he? And all those
Well,
wonderful
if the
things.
juices are worse than the sodas.
Well, now he must be onto something. But Kenny, unlike the president, he's step by step, methodically chipping away. He's not pulling the rock carpet from under people. He's like, no, come in, explain yourself. Let's talk it out. As you can see, the soda industry came to one of his colleagues, and he's like, it's not supposed to be nutritious. And he's like, well, The N in SNAP stands for supplemental nutrition. So, and we're going to get into those cuts as well because the Trump administration is trying to actually say, no, SNAP was supposed to be temporary. So we're going to make some cuts so, people will go back to work and people will be able to buy their own food. So that's the areas that they want to cover with that.
Which sounds absolutely insane. That sounds like somebody who's never gone grocery shopping or thinks something like grocery shopping is an outdated term. Anybody who lives in the real world, who lives in the 90% of the society that has to go to work every day, knows that the bottom 60% have two jobs and still need food stamps. That's crazy. But let's not jump into that too early. We got a couple of things we're going to jump into first. Oh, you're shaking your head. No.
No, let's
So,
move on. You've already proved your point. I presented my point. Let the viewer decide. Next subject.
well, I mean, just to bring it to a head, right? How many of you single parents out there that don't have children and only take care of yourself still require food stamps, right? And if you require food stamps, imagine having an extra mouth to feed. That sounds crazy. And then let's top it off. Now you got a family, right? That's one kid. Let's suppose you have 2, 3 kids. Like, that's not sustainable.
Why
You're
you
going to
have to say it in the
starve
first
children.
place?
One more time.
I'm one of those evil people that says, why are you having kids if you're not responsible enough to think long term about this before, it happens. I'll be evil today and you be good, okay?
Or, I'll represent the same people you represent the MAGA. Because we're definitely going to get into the MAGA insanity. We're doing because it has gone so far off the rails that I don't know how anybody can still be aboard. But let's talk about, for instance, right? The Republican Party is supposed to be the religious party, right? Y'all are the Christians. Even the Pope is against Trump. Even the Pope is like, bruh.
That's democracy. Who says has anything to do with faith? But that's democracy because they had to take a vote, didn't they? Who knows if God is with that or not, unless you as a believer read the Bible for yourself. But in any case, there were other candidates that the president preferred, like other Catholics. I went to Catholic school for 12 years. I'm not Catholic, but I understand the certain nuances when it comes to the papacy. For example, they were arguing that they were going to be the first black pope because they had 2 Africans that were in line. Some of them, I think both of them were very conservative from Africa, and they were hoping that they were getting, qualified to be in there. But no, they chose them from America to break history. But this guy is pro-migrant, as it were, and against Trump's, policies when it comes to that. However, some
Oh
people.
my God, did you just say he was a globalist? He believes in humanity, not just how do I say this? I don't want to sound like a racist. So I'll put it this way: not just your people.
Well, some claim that he's from Haiti and he has Haitian descent. So,
Oh,
the Pope,
Francis.
the Pope, yeah, they're already digging into his background. So after the fact, after he's elected, anyway, the Holy Father is going to do his thing. He stays over
Of course,
there.
they're digging into his background. That he said something against
Gave his
Trump.
opinion on the whole administrative situation, just like with other global situations. The Pope weighs in. Let's say I'm not sure if his weight has as strong as it used to be, but as a Catholic, like Joe Biden was and Kennedy is, it is coming upon you to acknowledge the Pope and the Eucharist deal and forgiveness and all that kind of stuff. But the president has a job to do. So here we are.
I'll look at it this way: the Catholic Church
Oh,
had this big meeting where they elected their Pope. I think they call it a conclave.
okay.
Something that happens every 10 to 15 years because the Pope's always old as dirt anyway. So he's not going to be long for the planet. That's just what it is. So Pope's conclaves happen within every 20 years. It's definitely going to be a conclave.
Like the Supreme Court. There's no term limits on the Pope unless you resign, like the other one.
So they had this big meeting, right? Conclave, whatever. And they kicking it, they talking, they're like, what are we going to do? They take the first ever American, and not just any place in America, because I mean, America's big. There's 50 plus states. It's crazy. According to Trump, 51, but I guess that doesn't count. No, in Hawaii. But there's so many states, right? They chose somebody from that represents the same place that Trump is from. They took a New York
I didn't know that. Okay.
And this man comes out and says, I know this guy. We like I'm from there. We know who Trump is. No. Like they chose somebody who understood him and they had to debate.
From
Trump is doing all
Chicago.
this right now.
It
Oh, he's
says
from
she's from
Chicago?
Chicago. Yeah, I
He
see.
was in New York a decade ago, I think. So anyway, so he was they had this big whole conclave, right? Where everybody's sitting around talking about everything going on and how
Mhm.
how the Pope could best represent the church to the world. And you mean to tell me you don't think that a big part of why they chose who they chose was the same reason their candidate chose who they chose? I mean, because of Trump, he got put in place.
Well, this does go back to the global movement to the right, as it were, even in Italy, because a lot of people don't know that the Vatican is a country within the country. It's the world's smallest country, if you think about that. And Italy is now moving to the right. So all those Catholics and Italian citizens that go in out of Rome, excuse me, the Vatican, that sentiment is there. So from all over the world, these Catholic leaders, they probably would vote their conscience in the sense that we have to combat some of this right movement and try to, continue with somewhat of a woke agenda, even though some people didn't like the previous pope because he was very progressive when it came to blessing, as it were, on paper, LGBT marriages, some other stuff some people didn't like. But like any other
I
democracy,
mean, Leviticus 23 says, "A man shall not lie with a man as he lies with a woman, and because it's an abomination unto God." I'm sorry, I'm not reading anything. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I've been Christian.
just like they should be eating pork chops and shrimp. But okay, we won't talk about that right now. The point is
It's
this.
not an abomination,
The,
at least. I mean,
the,
gosh.
the, okay, well,
And
um,
Jesus came and he's like, nah, it's not what you put in your mouth, it's just in your heart. So when Jesus came, he straightened out the misconceptions of the Old Testament. That was the entire reason for his coming. So the pork and shrimp stuff, that's what you put in your mouth. It's not what's in your heart. That doesn't count if you're Christian,
well, either
especially if you're
way,
Catholic.
the plant-based living lifestyle that goes back to the Garden of Eden is still the healthiest diet there is for mankind, and that's a fact. So
Okay,
again,
so you're against Jesus. Get it. Got it.
I didn't say any of that, but okay. So
I
yeah,
just said this is what Jesus said, and you said, well, according to the science. Wow, first time I heard a MAGA man quote science. According to science, it's better for you.
well, science exists regardless. And the thing is, no matter
Tell it to Trump.
what Jesus said, again, giving up to interpretation, either way, from the dietary laws, kosher, halal, otherwise, the number one diet in the world is the plant-based lifestyle, which we used to have pre-flood, the antediluvian age. It's just the Garden of Eden. So all these different laws, circumcision is another one up there. Like, hey, do we still need this now? Mankind, everything it touches turns to. And so here we are at the Pope.
I
And once
believe that now. I really believe you're Catholic because I can tell you haven't read your Bible. Not only did they eat meat, right? Not only did they do that, but they
pre-flood,
sacrificed. They sacrificed meat. They built altars and smoked it for God to smell its fragrance and what?
so
Yo,
you're
read the
saying they
Bible,
ate meat
bro.
pre-flood. They ate meat pre-flood is what you're saying.
Definitely, 100%. Yes,
I
and they
wouldn't agree.
sacrificed the animals to God as well.
They
Yes.
sacrificed, yes, but I
That's
don't know
why
if
they
they ate
said they
them.
couldn't eat. That's why they said they couldn't eat things with a cloven foot or with a
That
cloven
was
hoof.
in Egypt with Moses. This had nothing to do with Noah and his sons before they got on the boat. That's what I'm talking about. Because when they came off the boat, remember, in the antediluvian world, if you want to talk about Atlantis stuff, our lifespans were much higher. Can we agree on that? 900 years old, 800 years old, right? But then post flood, because what happens to the fallen earth, some say that the plate shifted, the climate change, and our age and mortality dropped from the hundreds until the double digits. Some argue that's when people started eating meat and having that diet as well. That's all I'm trying to say. If you want to go deep into it,
We could, but it's all
we
buffoonery.
don't talk about religion and politics on the first date, family. So let's get back to politics. So anyway,
Yes,
back
sir.
here on the no shot with Uncle Trump. Donald Trump, what did he do today? Because so far it looks like he's cutting a deal with United Kingdom for trade, and he's cutting a deal with China.
All right,
Secretary
so we'll
of
get to that. We'll get to that because
I said
no to
China.
both. All right, so okay, so Russia seems to still be wanting to go to war. Like he's supposed to be brokering this deal, and Russia's like, yeah, we want to come to the table, and Ukraine's like, yes, yes, we want peace, we want peace. Russia's like, yeah. What's happening with that first? Let's start with that. Is Russia going to continue? Is Uncle Trump going to continue to let Russia lead him around by the nose?
Um, well, no. The thing is, Trump always wants to cut a deal. And I'm trying to see if my aunt can get into the YouTube without having problems. And Trump is doing that globally with all these military conflicts. Even Israel doesn't like Trump because Trump just wants to cut a deal. That's point blank. He doesn't have a military conflict. He wants to send the troops. He doesn't like bombing. He just wants to get everybody to the table. Let's make a deal. That's it. Russia is doing this thing. Ukraine is doing this thing. But the video I saw today was that Zelensky is getting skeeped up in the Alpines at these meetings, and so are other European leaders with that white lady. So you can see that there's more going on here than what you think. But in the end of the day, Trump just wants to cut a deal, and that's about it. He wants to
And
stop.
Russia, I'm sorry, I thought you were done.
No, I'm just saying that Russia, I'm just saying our country's tired of sending weapons and military over there. That's why the defense budget and Homeland Security's budget is going up to secure our border, as well as, cut other programs within that they call woke that were hurting them. Like, the funding to enter sexuality, the $34 million grant, I think you put it on there, that was cut as a result.
Right. So people like the lady who had the procedure done that flew 60 missions for the United States can get kicked out on her behind, even though she put her life on the line over 60 times for this country and what it stands for. I
So you
think that's
mean that
crazy.
one person that
No, that
did
one
that
person is
one
just a
abortion on the
representation.
moon is the reason why you need this policy and funding? That one person, as opposed to
No,
millions of others with their
no,
problems and
no,
defense and increasing our military.
no, no.
Do tell.
So that one person is one person, but the concept is if you wanted to stop people from going in, that's one thing. But when you start talking about people that have been in, that have served for years, put their lives on the line, that's crazy. You're just like, well, chainsaw.
Yeah, but
Like,
what does this have to do with the grant? That's my question.
because that's the money from the grant that supports them.
To go to intersexuality. I think that's the word you use. Let me see if I get it right. So you don't say
Intersectionality.
so I'm not being accused of
Intersectionality. But I'm not trying to hop around. I'm trying to.
yeah, okay.
All right. So my question is, Russia seems to be pulling Trump by the nose. He seems to be getting tired of it. He wants to cut a deal. Vladimir's like, yeah, sure, deal. Yeah, let's talk. Let's come to the table. Yes, 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 yes. Meanwhile, Ukraine is like, yes, please. I'm tired of getting bombed. Russia's like, yo, we can get more territory. Yeah. We coming, we coming. Yeah. We're ready to talk. Yeah. And we had the same conversation a month ago. So it's not my imagination. This is what's happening. I predicted we'd have this conversation a month later. We're going to continue to have this conversation because Vladimir is not ready to stop. When is Trump going to realize that? Is he so intent on cutting a deal that he can't see what's right in front of his face?
When are people going to realize that, hey, so far he stopped our funding and he stopped our troops from going over there? As a matter of fact, he's cut a deal so Zelensky and Ukraine have to pay us back with their vitamins and minerals. Isn't that great, Leo? Once again, no matter how much you want to see Trump fail, he's winning, and that feels though we're all should be winning as American citizens. That's how I feel.
Well, I think everybody wins in that deal, and I like it. Because here's the way Ukraine saw it. Well, you don't want Russia to take over your assets that you have over here. We're giving you all this. If Russia takes it, you lose that. So Now you have an interest in making sure that we stay sovereign. Everybody wins. Zelensky's not stupid.
He is a little bit under the influence, if you know what I mean.
I haven't seen those reports. I have to look into it.
Oh,
No, I have
everybody
to.
got fact checked. Check the tapes, Leo. This man has all the telltale signs. And then if you see the video
He
on
does.
YouTube
Now
right
that you
now,
mention it,
that
there are some things that are questionable.
there's a little baggie and a little spoon there in the meeting with the dignitaries on that train. So that's all over X, but they're fact checking the way and say, hey, public, you didn't see that blow on the table. So you must be stupid. Fact
I
check.
didn't see it myself. I have to look into it. But now that you mention it, it's definitely a possibility. I have to look. I mean, but this is the war that Trump said he was going to end on day one. He gets involved with the
Oh
one
boy,
between.
here we go, trying to hold them accountable for that. What about the economy and tariffs that are actually going over well right now? And China,
We're going to get to the economy and
yeah,
tariffs.
China
We
is
have
going to meet
different
the states
definitions of.
in Switzerland, so a deal's going to be struck once again. And that's all double talk from Trump that's actually working.
We'll get to that because in this reality. India accuses Pakistan of violating the ceasefire. So Trump brokered a ceasefire between India and Pakistan.
Say it again. He broke the ceasefire. Keep going.
It lasted for like 10 minutes.
Again, he didn't send any troops. He didn't send any funding. He didn't send any weapons. He's like, hey guys, let's just sort this out. I don't know.
And it's not working. It's not anything any deal he's tried to broker to shut down a war. None of them have worked. Not a single one.
Well,
He said he stopped.
But it worked in our interest because, again, we're not sending military, we're not sending weapons, and we're not sending funding. So let the UN do its job. How about that? Because we invest the most in the UN out of any country in the world.
Right, two brown people fighting, he don't care. White people fighting, he
Here
wants
we
to stop it.
again.
No, listen, but watch this. Gaza, nah, we gotta send troops. We gotta send money.
That's not true.
That's what happened.
Because Trump is trying to cut a deal, and Netanyahu's upset that Trump is not really supporting Israel the way he should. That's a fact. And
he wants Gaza. Does he still want Gaza?
He wants Gaza to be the Riviera of the Middle East.
So if he still wants Gaza, then he's still helping. He's going to still help Israel win. That's kind of common sense.
Actually, look at the reports. Netanyahu is not happy with the way Trump's moving, and Netanyahu wants to actually go on more offensive. Actually, he is going on more offensive with blowing and killing everybody up, but Trump is not with that.
Trump is not with that, but Trump is still going to be on their side supporting them. He's still doing that because if he doesn't, he can't get what he wants, which is that black land. I'm sorry, the Gaza Strip. I said black land, same difference. Anyway, those are the facts. Okay. 70% of Americans say he is keeping his campaign promises.
He is. Promises made, promises kept. Those Democrats aren't really good at that, are they?
Okay. He hasn't ended war. He hasn't brought down prices.
Oh, yes,
he hasn't.
The
man said he brought down.
Back. The economy is bouncing back, and China's coming to the table to talk. So he did his job so far.
We have different definitions of bouncing back. Prices are still up, period.
Let's give it time, Leo. But the point is this: China is coming. The United Kingdom has cut a deal with us. Isn't that great? And they said they weren't going to do anything with us. They turned on us, didn't they? But now they cut a deal with Uncle Trump.
I'll jump to the EU. The EU is an interesting thing, right? Now it's the sixth largest economy in the world. United States is number one. China's number two. They're number six.
Okay.
So that's still pretty big, right? I mean, America's $25 trillion a year GDP, gross domestic product, which kind of translates into goods and services within a year. China's 18 trillion. I forget what the EU is, but they're pretty big. Number six is huge. And in that deal, he did some amazing things. He really did. He's got them ready to buy American steel, buy American cars, something they weren't doing. He's done some really great stuff there.
Okay.
I was proud to be American reading some of that.
Well, looks like he did something good for a change, right?
He did good there. It was the best move he could do as well. If you're trying to broker with the whole world, you take your closest ally, which some might say is Canada because of their proximity and the fact that they do more trade than anybody else in the world. But they're not as large as the EU, and that's just what it is. So was that was brilliant.
Art of the Deal. Pick up his book. I don't read, but that's what I was told. Pick up his book, Art of the Deal. He was able to put all the countries against each other with the power of the tariff. And here we are starting to like, you know what? This is not bad. We just want to make sure you guys invest in us because we're the number one buyer and consumer in the world. Don't you should show us some respect and buy from us for a change? Sounds smart to me.
Just real quick, if we manufacturing, then we're not buying anymore. So then we're not going to be the consumers that we once were, which means the tariffs won't hold as much power. Just, duh. But you cannot possibly, that's not even economics. That's just like.
But you just yourself, you're happy with the results thus far.
So absolutely.
Something's working about this strategy of tariffs. Instead of printing money like the previous administration to try to fix all life's problems.
Wait a minute, time out. I think Trump printed more money than any president in history, but we'll leave that alone. Or did you not get a stimulus check? But
I thought Joe Biden did that. I thought Congress did it, not Donald Trump. That's what I was told.
Whose name was on them checks again?
Yeah, no. We were told that Donald Trump had nothing to do with the stimulus check. Nothing at all. Even though he invented the vaccine under Operation Warp Speed, but we were told the Congress is the one that gives a stimulus check. Now you're saying Donald Trump did it? What's that about?
I'm saying that all that inflation, that money printing happened under his administration more than anybody.
Well, that's not true either. I just found out that actually it is Joe Biden's fault because remember, Joe Biden wanted to keep the country closed and the borders closed. And as a result of us not being able to do anything but stay inside all day, that's what caused the inflation. Whereas states like Florida, they're like, no, we should keep business going. Trump wanted the business going. But as soon as Biden came in, it's like, nah, it's not safe. Shut down, mandatory vaccines. You're fired if you don't take the vaccines, hurting a large portion of the workforce in the country. And that's what caused the inflation. And then dumping a lot of money into the government sector to hire nothing but government jobs and saying, hey, the American Rescue Plan, we made so many jobs, the jobs that you created, but now Uncle Trump has to slice and dice because it bloated our budget and is what really caused the inflation. Make sense?
Hold on. So let me ask a question because something just doesn't add up.
Yes.
You just said 1 and 1 and got 12, not even 11. So, right. Donald Trump had stimulus checks. He had unemployment.
Congress had stimulus checks. No, don't try that. We remember just like Kamala Harris was the board.
So then why did he demand his name on the checks? Under his administration, under the Donald Trump administration 1.0, there was stimulus checks, there was unemployment checks, there was PPP loans. If the country didn't even get shut down yet, why was he printing so much money?
Well, he did not shut the country down.
So then why was he printing the money?
He shut the country down briefly after pressure, but he wanted to open up the country back as soon as possible.
Okay, so the country. So then what you said is wrong. You said the country wasn't shut down. Now you're saying briefly. You sound like Trump.
Joe Biden wanted to keep the country closed when he won the election at the end of 2020. When the COVID hit, March of 2020, it started getting more aggressive. No. So when the COVID hit, coronavirus. Remember coronavirus?
You mean COVID-19 that hit in 2019?
You mean it hit in 2020, Leo?
Why was it called COVID-19? Because it hit in November 2019.
Okay, well, let's just say the pandemic hit in March when they didn't take it seriously. How about that?
Okay.
It was in China, in Wuhan, China, in November. How about that?
Well, according to you, it was started by an American named Dr. Fauci.
You want to take it there, Leo? You're going to have this shut down? When was COVID-19 started? Let's see what it says.
It's COVID-19. What are you doing? Oh my God.
Yep, like I said, March. Okay, that says the lockdown started March 15th. But yes.
Oh, you're talking about the lockdowns. That's not when COVID hit. That's when the lockdown started. That started under Trump.
He didn't cause it. Okay, let's see. COVID-19
didn't cause it. What
pandemic in the United States.
I hope y'all are watching this. I hope if you're Republican, you're You're not. You're probably not. But I hope
Right. In
that you're watching
2019,
this.
in November, it started in China. But in America, when? 2020. China. Because it was China. But he was called a racist out the building, so it must have been fake news, right?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, you're talking about the fact that he
I'm
said
just
it was
trying
in
to talk
China.
about China, and it comes from China.
Right, but it was in American labs.
Long story short, Joe Biden kept the country close to long. Didn't
But
let trade
you're
happen too long.
blaming Biden for keeping the country closed. In order for him to keep it closed, that means it had to be closed in the first place, and that was done under Trump. What are you talking about?
He lost the election. If he would have won the election, we'd have been right back open. And
He
wait a minute,
closed the country and
what
printed
about?
more money than any president in history.
Well, then again,
Period.
we had the COVID 2020 crisis. And then on top of that, what does this have to do with all the workers that were fired who were essential workers one day with a ticket take parade? And in 2021, everybody's fired for not taking the mandatory vaccine countrywide. You
What
don't
was that,
talk about the
2020?
workforce?
Who was president in
2021 is when it
2020?
happened. October, I remember this distinctly. October, September 2021, the emails, letters went out to all the employees saying, hey, if you don't take this vaccine by this date, you will lose your pension. You will be fired. You will lose your benefits.
Oh, the one that you just said that Trump rapidly did. What
He
do you
didn't
call that?
mandate it. He didn't
Operation Warp
mandate it.
Speed.
He didn't mandate it. That was just Sleepy Joe. Remember, at the end of 2020, when he's still in the White House in December and November, that's when Operation Warp Speed happened. And Joe Biden tried to take the credit, but he made it mandatory. So can't blame Trump for that.
So the 70% of Americans that believe that Trump are keeping his promises kind of reminds me. Do you remember the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight? It was kind of like a no-brainer, right? Like, who's gonna win? Mike Tyson had to get in the ring with a guy half his age. So what I just said was he had to get in the ring with Jake Paul and Father Time. And while Jake Paul could not possibly beat Mike Tyson had already been beaten down by Father Time before he got in the ring. But you played a few clips, little bites of Mike Tyson hitting the speed bag, and Americans were duped into believing that Mike Tyson stood a chance in this fight. And then went on to believe that he threw the fight afterwards because people believe what they see on the internet instead of using their own deductive reasoning. And
You've just
Trump kind
insulted
of
7% of the population. So that's why democracy is horrible, because you're having uneducated people select power. So that's what you're just proving that point, Leo.
Trump just did the same thing. He did the same thing. He really fooled people like Mike Tyson did. The internet works. I need to use it for money.
So the opponent had nothing to do with him winning, being a horrible opponent.
Who was the horrible opponent?
Kamala Harris, of course. And before that, Joe Biden, who they kicked out like a dog. The billionaire oligarch.
I'm not talking about why he won. I'm talking about the fact that they're saying that he keeps his promises when he hasn't kept a single promise. He hasn't kept the most important ones.
Deportations.
He did keep the mass deportations. That he did.
That's the one he did. Wars around the world.
No.
Really? You don't think he's calmed down the wars around the world?
We just had that conversation.
Okay, well, he's bringing jobs back home. How about that?
I haven't seen any jobs
from what he's done. Drill. Remember drill, baby, drill? Now we get
okay. What is that? Where's that created jobs? Show me something.
Well, that's how
you can't because
the coal sector, the oil sector, well, some of our natural resources. What's that? Fracking. Oh my God, Leo, you're making me work today. Long story short, despite anything, the numbers are there. No matter how much you try to scare people, 70% still support them. So obviously your messaging is wrong.
I didn't say support. I said believe he's keeping his promises.
Yeah, goodbye. Otherwise, it feels like he is keeping his promises because things are feeling like they're finally getting done without all the bureaucracy.
And that is why it's working.
And then on top of that,
he's brilliant for that. He's brilliant for that.
Smaller government, Leo, with all these cuts and Doge, smaller government.
Well, that he didn't quite succeed there either. When all those people want,
that's why.
No, because all the people got hired back. What are you talking about?
Not all of them, Leo.
So many of them that it didn't really make a dent. When that's only 2% of government funding anyway, and then 80% of them got hired back, the numbers are silly to talk about. And then when you count the factor in that Doge people got all that money and Doge made all that money, it was a loss. It was a big loss. It was an L. That was the biggest L I have more against that than anything else Trump did. That was the biggest L.
But guess
He
what?
went about that wrong.
People still feels as though he's keeping his promises. 70% of them. That's interesting. Regardless of what you say. Good luck trying
That's
to
true.
otherwise.
All I could do is speak facts, but I'm speaking on deaf ears apparently for most of the
The
country.
fact you just said the fact. 70% of America believe that he's keeping his promises, whether they like it or not. That's a fact. Now, when it comes to other administrations, maybe not so much, but so far, looks like Orange Man is not that bad after all.
Not keeping his promises and not being so bad are not the same. But let's check, like, yo, boom, watch this, right? The next thing I see on the list, right? So buying Trump coin for dinner with him, right? Like, yo, so if you buy more coins than anybody else, you can win a dinner with the president. Like, that's almost as bad as the $400 million jet that dude just purchased for the president that he can use once he leaves office. $500 million for an airplane. Like, this is the guy we're talking about. Buy my coin and win dinner with me. That's the president doing that? It's appalling.
Well, some people think presidents allowing abortion up to 10 months is appalling. What can you do? Some people think the White House having all the antics it has with drag queen story hour for little children. Some people find that to be disgusting. So once again, eye of the beholder, perception versus reality. Some people feel gender affirming care for 7-year-olds is disgusting, but hey, that's what they want to do on the other side. I don't know.
I agree with most of what you said. It is
for you. The previous, I think, Secretary of Health and Human Services was upset. Actually, no, let me scratch that. Let me clean it up. People hate the term Mother's Day because they feel as though mothers shouldn't be just inclusive of just birthing people and things of that nature, and that the term mother is offensive as a heteronormative. You know what heteronormative terms are, Leo? Huh?
What is that?
Heteronormatives are like Mr. and Miss, or humankind, or mankind. Those are heteronormative terminologies that could be offensive, I could pretty soon get thrown in jail for saying that, heteronormative. And don't forget the pronouns. And all the millions of dollars invested to update all systems and paperwork.
Humankind.
So there you go, heteronormative. That's the word of the day.
Humankind. Mankind is very
toxic
American.
Masculinity must be destroyed.
Well, no, I mean, so why does everybody got to be a man? Like, there are women. I prefer to be in the company of women myself.
How many sexes?
I don't know. I'm a straight guy.
Hey, Leo, how many sexes are there?
2.
Oh, wow. Looks like you sound like Donald Trump.
Under certain circumstances, I support Mr. Trump. What? Call it down the middle. Like, yo, there's only 2 sexes. The other stuff is crazy.
I don't know. You're going to get.
If I offended somebody,
Some closed-minded think tank this is to members only.
Listen, I'm just going with science. I'm not doing this emotional. It's a think tank. The science says there's only 2 sexes. Now, how many genders are there?
Yeah, how many genders are there?
Well, gender fluidity is fine. That's a mental thing that you can do whatever you want. There are only 2 sexes.
Oh,
and you're either male or female. There's nothing else.
So what? Name another gender.
I can't. I'm not. That's not my lifestyle.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're advocating for something that you don't understand.
I didn't advocate for it. I simply acknowledge. I acknowledge it. Now, I'm not closed-minded enough to not acknowledge it.
Then what is name another gender? What else is there?
Just because I acknowledge it doesn't mean I have to go into deep research for it. It's not my lifestyle. I have not done that. I will not do that.
This is supposed to be a think tank. What are thinking at here? If you're critically thinking, what is the other sex? I'll give you an example. In Thailand, there are 3 sexes: male, female, and ladyboy. You see how easy that was for Dion? Now it's your turn.
Well, maybe that's your thing, but it's not mine. Can't help you.
That has nothing to do with the point of what are the other genders? What are the other sexes? Tell me if you're going to advocate for it.
No, the science is there's only 2 sexes. You either are male, where in the physical realm, if you're spiritual, then you'd understand it a little bit better. If you're not spiritual, I'll put it on the physical form where it's easier to comprehend. but it's a spiritual being that I'm elevated above just the physical level, where masculine and feminine properties are not just represented by our physical traits,
Some
but
people say
like
it's spiritual warfare when you talk like that.
the real deal is there's only on the physical realm, you're either a male or a female. You
Or
can
vice
be
versa.
born, you can be born with both organs. That has been done. I believe it's
Hermaphrodite.
called a hermaphrodite. However, you can't have both organs internally. You're either male or female, regardless of your external organs.
So can men
That's a
have
fact.
babies, Leo? Can men have babies?
Not naturally, no.
Oh boy, you're gonna get canceled. This show's over, everybody. Let's move on.
I might get canceled because oh my God, science. So
Degrees. I don't have any degrees over here, but I do know this. What are the other sexes and what are the other genders? So you don't need a piece of paper for that. Some people say common sense, but not me. I'm just asking questions. What are they? Educate me.
I do not live that lifestyle. That's not my lifestyle. Why would so wait, let me get this right. So according to the MAGA frame of mind, I'm supposed to know everything about everything?
No. If
Okay.
you're going to beat your chest about how
I
wonderful
didn't beat my
sports it
chest.
is and how wonderful intersexuality is, and there are many genders and many sexes, then what are they?
Not my lifestyle. It's not something I have to know about.
Let's move on. We're spitting pubic hairs at this point. Oh, well, hopefully we'll have somebody to answer that question. How many genders are there and how many sexes are there? Wait a minute. You're a dad, mom, dad. What do you teach your kids? How do they feel about this? What do they say to you when they come home from school, Daddy? These are all the sexes and all the genders of the world. Look at my little book here where Timmy learns how to use his 5 hands for the 5 knuckle shuffle.
Why?
I'm
Why?
not joking. There are books out there that are crazy in New York City in these libraries, Dracula Story Hour. That is real. Until you come home to your husband having sex with a man, or if you come home with your wife having sex with another woman, or vice versa, or your boy coming home a girl, or your girl coming home a boy, then it will become real for you. Until then, you're just being scared by the evil racist Republicans like me.
And if you come home to that and it's your child, you're going to love your child or you're going to be some sort of monster because you're not going to be able to accept your child for whatever decisions that they make in their life. And that's real.
And if you're a
So
parent and try to stop it, you can be jailed thanks to New York State's Equal Rights Amendment to our state constitution. So
you should be able to stop a child from making adult decisions. But if an adult makes it, listen, you can look at a 7-year-old boy and watch him walk down the street and say to yourself something along the lines, now this is going to get me banned, and say something along the lines of that boy got sugar in his tank. You can see it before they even know it. So it's more than just something that they are being forced on. This is way before all of this craziness that went down in the government. It's you like in this our parents' generation. They can tell you that boy got sugar in his tank. Like they can say, and we come from a society. This society was built by the conquistadors or the colonialists that come from the Roman Empire. What? Yo, didn't Julius Caesar have more boyfriends than girlfriends? Stop it. Anyway, now that we've done dealt with that, what is it okay for Donald Trump to tell people buy as many coins as you can to try and win dinner with me? Put money in my pocket for dinner.
once again, this guy's a businessman. We all know what time it is with Donald Trump. He has all these gimmicks. He loves to troll. So it is incumbent upon you to discern or buy into it. Obama made fun of him, say, oh, look at this guy, so stuff. Then when it comes to Jimmy Carter's funeral, they're buddy. So think about it. AOC, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, you have Jasmine Crockett. These people are becoming millionaires where they're telling you you should remain in poverty and fight the power. They'll never live in the hood, never. But they want to keep you believing that Donald Trump is coming for your snap because you need snap to survive. That's not true. Because just the same way they became millionaires, They should give you the tools for you to become millionaires. I say it all the time. You people shouldn't tell us to tax the rich. You elected officials to help make us become the rich. That way, we don't need you anymore. But that'll never happen. They'll always have your rental assistance, your free toys, your free school supplies, your free prom dresses, your free turkeys, because they need to keep you poor. And that's how I feel about that.
Well, that is because everybody can't be rich because then everybody's the same. So in order for some people to be rich, you have to have a lot of poor. And so that does not make it okay to grift and steal the way Trump is doing. He is the biggest thief
What about
that's ever said.
AOC? What about Jasmine Crockett? What about the rest of these minority leaders that become millionaires in their private jets with Bernie Sanders eating caviar, but they're trying to convince you that Donald Trump is trying to ruin your life? That makes no sense. And they don't live in the poor neighborhoods, even though they're so great. Why would they move into the racist white neighborhoods? That makes no sense. And why do you have to have billionaire donors? You have to consult with your billionaire donors. I have to consult with the donors to see who the leader of the Democratic Party is. That makes no sense. Our donors are not happy with AOC. Our donors are not happy with Hakeem Jeffries. Why do donors matter? If you're saying that the billionaires are evil, why are you listening to your donors? You're telling us billionaires are evil, but you're listening to your donors to decide who the presidential nominees are. That makes no sense. What happens to democracy? Shouldn't the Democrat votes count for who your leadership is instead of the donors selecting your candidates who are viable?
I can't disagree with any of that. You're right. They're all bad. Donald Trump is worse, but they're all doing the same thing.
Well,
They're
he's
all doing
worse
the same
because he
thing.
has his own money. He doesn't need anybody else. Oh, can you give me some money for run for us? Can you give me some money for run for us? And Donald Trump, like Elon Musk, like Linda McMahon, if you will, like Kennedy, they got their own money. They don't need this, but they're still here anyway, having fun with it and trying to make America great again.
Is that really what you believe?
Yes.
So you don't believe that he's doing all these things to make more money? That
Well, he won't be a career politician. I will tell you that. Nancy Pelosi and the rest of these guys will die in office. They need this lifestyle. Donald Trump doesn't need this lifestyle. Neither is Linda McMahon or Kennedy. You see what I'm saying? Elon Musk, is he going to run for office? No, maybe not.
because he can't.
Well, again, the point is this: that these people don't need to be career politicians, and they're not.
So you don't believe they stepped into the position that they stepped into because they saw a money grabbing opportunity and they all got together to grab money? You don't
Well,
see
let's
that?
start in 2015 when Donald Trump did this. Do you really think he took this seriously, other than the popularity and make money as it were? Do you think he wanted to be president? Do you think he
To make money. That's what I just said.
Yeah, but did you think that he was going to become president and stick this out and then do it again after trying to be killed, after they took him to court, after they tried to set him up? Do you think this guy really wants to be president at the beginning? The answer is no. But once he became president and saw what's going on behind the veil, he said, nah, I can't have this. Rip down the veil. You know what? I want to take away food stamps. Oh, that's great. Oh, no, wait a minute, Trump. Most of us white hicks in the backwoods use food stamps. You can't do that. Nah, I'm going to expose it anyway. And that's what he's been doing. He's been shaking up the tables on both sides.
So you honestly believe that that's the scariest part?
That's true.
So
he tried to take away public assistance until they realized it's not going to hurt the black people the way that people wanted to. It's going to hurt most of the white people. They made him stop. That's the fact. But he didn't want to stop. He wanted to end public assistance. That's what he's trying to do today with the food stamp program, try to push people to work and actually make
as
the
we
food stamp
speak
program more healthier. So that way you have less unhealthy options like Fruit Loops. We're not paying for Fruit Loops that's going to make you obese, and our healthcare system has to pay you and they get the pen to lose weight. Actually, the companies are actually providing the pens now to help their employees lose weight, so that way they don't have to pay much into healthcare. And that's what he's doing.
It just seemed like to me he found a way that if he cuts all of this money, that he can put all he can extend the tax breaks that he put in his first term that made the rich more rich.
Whoa, like
Tax.
no taxes on tips, no taxes on
That wasn't in the first bill.
No taxes on Social Security. So that's the tax custody. Oh, what about the tax child credit? Remember, we have the child tax credit that they're trying to increase, especially if you're married and have children, they get that money back. What about that tax break right there, the child tax credit? You want to talk about that now?
They're talking about all of that right now, but you know what they didn't talk about? The fact that they made so much money off the first time he was in office and gave only the rich those breaks.
So how come the rich are telling the Democrats what to do? We just said that earlier with the donors. So obviously the rich are doing something right.
Okay. So what you said didn't even make sense of what I said. So
You're saying the rich are evil, and I'm trying to make the correlation.
I'm not saying they're evil. I'm saying
that
that they're making more money, and that's what they did, and that's what they intend on
they're making
continuing to
more
do.
money
And they're going to
to
take
fund
from
Democratic
Medicaid.
candidates.
They're going to take from Medicaid. They're going to take from Medicare. They're going to take some Social Security in order to fund the tax breaks that they got in
That's
2000.
not true. Donald Trump said he will veto any bill that would do just that. And that's
Except for the fact that when he wrote the bill, it's on the GOV website what his requests were, and it's 23% he's trying to take away from Medicaid. Like the numbers are on. I can't believe this. Are you seriously telling me you didn't even look at the website? You of all people, look at the website.
Just share the screen so we all can be educated. All I know is Donald Trump will veto any bill that comes across his desk that is going to propose any cuts to Medicaid, Medicare, and I think food stamps. Other than that, he's cutting waste, fraud, and spending. He just wants these programs to go to migrants. So that's right. He's going to push on the states. He's saying, states, I want you to report back to me a line item budget on how you spending our federal money. I know that's a fact. So as Leo tries to cook this up, back to the Dion show. That's right, baby. We're here with the new sunglasses. Summertime is here. Dion's paid for his chicken to Africa. Hopefully, I'll promote Ghana and also Kenya and also South Africa this year. Shout out to the Africa Diaspora News channel because we're trying to grow up to be just like you, big brother Philip Scott and them folks.
Okay, I'm not pulling it up. Everybody wants to talk about the fact that the Congress is debating it right now, and the Republicans are doing what? They're saying they're fighting it because they don't want to make the cuts. That's what's going on in Congress as we speak. That's the big fight.
Search for Trump veto Medicaid.
Where is the .gov? Because I pulled this off the government website. I pulled it off the president's website. I'm looking for it.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Secretary of Health and Human Services, had to say about SNAP. The N in SNAP stands for what? Nutrition. And I talked to my colleague this morning. She said, Dion, do you know the definition of food? I was like, no. She's like, anything that a human can consume and survive. So that means it can be unhealthy or whatever, and it's food. Now, nutrition is another example of what is that? Healthy foods like fruits, vegetables, vitamins, proteins, all those natural resources that Kenny's trying to promote. And when you off this fake food here in the Matrix, no GMOs, no MSG. Remember MSG in Chinese food? Unhealthy.
See, I'm not trying to get it from the news because all the news stations are reporting it, obviously. I'm trying to get it off the government website.
And this is fake news.
I mean, all the news is reporting it. It's both sides. This is not debatable except for with you. Like this is not everybody. Like everybody's reporting it. Everybody's reporting it. Fox. Oh, how would you take it if it was from Fox News?
What?
Would you take it if it was from Fox News?
Oh, I'll take it. Yeah, sure, Fox News. Sure, let's go with Fox News. Let me see it. Let us see it. Maestro.
Okay. I think I could find it on Fox News. Thank God, because this is like painful to watch. Oh, that didn't work out as well as I had planned, I must admit. This is Fox, right? Fox News? Oh, Trump's heist proposal is deja vu of George H.W. Bush's read my lips moment. This is Fox News. This is Fox News. Oh, where are the butts? Trump considers tax hike on Americans making $2.5 million or more per year. Oh, that's good. Where Trump's first vice president urges, where is it? Where is this? It's not showing the cuts.
Control F. Control F.
I'm not on a
something. Apple F. I don't know.
Hold up. I will find it. Give me a second. That's not what I thought it was.
It's not what you need to make Trump look bad.
No, I want the truth. It's just Fox News. I'm trying to get it from Fox.
Let's hear from Fox.
This is it. Trump spending plans and Fox News. 2026 will stay until we pass it. In its budget request for fiscal year, Congress slashed an eye-popping 20% of spending which lawmakers allocate each year, 150 billion in cuts. 20%. It's not saying what's being cut. Oh no, the freeze. All right, let's keep going. Oh my gosh, where are the actual things that he's cutting?
Exactly. Where are they?
Next time I'm gonna see what I
Make Trump look evil the way we need him to be, right?
look nice and evil. It's just what he's doing. I mean, making him look evil is it's what he's doing. Okay. Trump tax cuts. All right, I know. Let's do this differently. Medicaid, Fox News. Oh, he's going to slash drug prices up to 80%. That will be amazing.
Yes.
Is this is I think this is what I just clicked on. That's what I just looked at. This is not helping. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. He's trying to make me prove this, trying to make me look bad. And Trump says Social Security won't face cuts, but what is his bill? This is old, right? April 30th. Where's the actual bill?
That's the thing. They hide it in plain sight. If you want the bill, maybe we should go to house.gov.
Now, I saw the actual bill on government. Dems claim GOP will attempt Medicaid cuts. That's no good. Oh, I know what it news. Why is my computer running slowly? There we go.
Much like Donald Trump.
This is the Washington Post. No, it's not Fox. Trump says public entitlements like Social Security and Medicaid won't be touched. That's what you're saying. Where is the actual big, beautiful bill? Okay, that's it. Oh man, I'm not going to take forever trying to do this. I'll try this one more time. Where is it? Let us find it. This is Fox News. The blue state Republicans are threatening mutiny over local taxes in the big, beautiful bill.
Okay.
Defunding big abortion, that's okay. Not good with it, but we've negotiated in good faith on SALT, right? But that's state and local taxes. That's what SALT stands for.
Now, easy is it with this damn internet and finding the bills that they say is so scary?
I found it on my phone. I should have sent the link to myself. I normally do.
That's right, my friend. Let's see what our friend has to say today.
This is Fox, and I can't. Of course, Fox isn't going to give numbers.
Damn, that Fox be lying.
They're not lying. They're not giving numbers. They're not giving. Nobody wants to give these numbers. The numbers are crazy.
Because if they did, it probably make Donald Trump look good.
Fox News doesn't want to make Donald Trump look good. That's what you're saying.
I'm saying that you going to Fox with Fox.
Oh no! If I go to if I go to a Democratic channel, they're going to find it immediately. It's going to be there, but then you're going to be like, oh well, that's the blah 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 blah. Why is this?
Okay, well,
it's not showing.
All right,
it's not showing.
Now, in April, according to Bloomberg, Trump says that he would veto any cuts to Medicaid and Social Security. That's what Bloomberg says.
That's what he said, but that's not what he put in his wish list that they're fighting over in Congress as we speak. I mean, it's sad that we're having this discussion because that means that you don't know, and you're
What? That was my fault that you can't find the answer to answer.
no, you're right. I should have this.
It's okay, Leo.
It's
We
sad. I really should
believe
have this.
you. That's right, Leo. We believe you.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to go any further. I can't find it right now. Believe me, this isn't going anywhere. We'll be talking about it again. Let's talk about some of the other things going on, like Shiloh Hendricks calling the little autistic child.
Why is this news?
Why is this news that one of your mega friends wanted to start calling an autistic child nigger, and that everybody wanted to throw money at her for it?
We have bigger fish to fry, Leo. Why is this news? Why?
She made $700,000 calling a little autistic child nigger.
Why is this news? That's my question. What purpose does it serve? No, really, think about it. Let's think about it in the think tank. Why is this news? Why is this newsworthy? Remember that term? Why is
Here's
it?
because it shows the frame of mind of a lot of the MAGA supporters
So you're going to
that you're in denial
population.
that you're in denial about.
I'm not in denial. I'm just asking, why is this news?
Why is it news? But it obviously was because she made $700,000. She made almost $1 million calling a little autistic child nigger. That's the America that Donald Trump has created.
So this is Donald Trump's fault. He's emboldened these people to do such things. That's why it's news.
That's what I said. Yes.
If we could stop Donald Trump, the world would be a better place, and the white people would feel so emboldened to do such blatant racism.
Well, last time he was in office, I believe one in every 1,000 black men had to worry about being shot by the police.
Well, were they, Leo?
According to numbers.
Or was that just stress?
I reported on this and showed the articles on it.
So they
prior
were
episode
killed by the police, but not by other black men or Latino men. They were worried about the police killing them, you're saying.
I feel safer walking past a drug dealer on the street than a cop. How about you?
I feel safer walking by a cop with a drug deal on the street. How's that sound?
So a YouTube poll on impeachment showed 89%, do you believe in YouTube, of people felt that the impeachment was justified. 89%. So while 70% believe he's...
The first two?
Sorry?
The first two?
No, this one. Or would be justified, right.
Well, guess what? So far, the Democrats are not ready to pull that card. Remember Senator Green with the slick back? He wants to impeach Trump for the longest. I'm going to introduce, remember his cane?
Articles of impeachment, right?
He still hasn't done that. But if you look at the congressperson from, I think, was it Minnesota, Michigan, with the hairdo, he tried to introduce articles of impeachment, and the Democrats pulled him back. Why is that? Why we have one?
Because it's not time yet. Wait till them numbers hit, and them shores is empty. Giving me another week or two is what they said.
So what's the impeachable offense that he's done? What are they going to use? What are they going to dig up this time?
I think the grifting that I was talking about will be a good start.
You can impeach a president of the United States for grifting. Really? That's egregious enough?
The way he's doing it, he's kind of
impeached Bill Clinton for lying to Congress. So you mean to tell me, actually, you know what? It's probably so. This deranged Democrat Congress, they would impeach Donald Trump for grifting. You're right, because the first time, what were the first two times they impeached Trump for?
I mean, I don't think he's going to get impeached. I mean, he walked into office a felon. How much worse can it get, right? So
he's a convicted felon. He's not a felon. He's convicted, but he wasn't sentenced. Therefore, he's a convicted felon, but he wasn't sentenced, so he's not a felon. Isn't that interesting, the wordplay?
That's
not how it works? Okay.
At all. I don't even know what you were trying to do there. That was crazy. Like that was a mega play on words. I love it. The whole point is 89%. That's almost not, that's like, oh, I mean, if Trump won by 89%, we couldn't even have this conversation right now. 89% of the people believe that he should be impeached. 89%. That's a lot. And that's according to YouTube.
Okay, so
And
what does that do for him? Nothing. All we know is that he's just gonna keep trucking until
that's
the
true.
Democrats get froggy. Then he's gonna keep on trucking. He's not even worried about that. Polls come and
At
go.
all.
Most of the polls we don't trust because they've been lying to us time and time
That's
again.
why I said YouTube. I thought that would be one you trusted.
They said, well, Iowa's poll said Kamala Harris is going to win this election by a landslide. That was a lie. Polls come and go. So far, the president's still there.
I'm gonna skip the FEMA thing. How about the fact that, he doesn't believe in due process? The fact that he wants to deport Americans, born, raised, naturalized Americans to other countries. What due process? How about the fact he says he doesn't think he has to follow the Constitution? Are those impeachable?
Probably
These are out
so.
of his mouth. This is out his mouth.
Okay, let's say they are impeachable offenses. Then why aren't the Democrats or Republicans doing anything about it? Because they're helpless. Hakeem Jeffries, the great black leader of the future, says there's nothing we can do about it. So if
You're
they're
right. We
okay
now
with it,
have a
then they're okay with it.
dictator.
So then if they're okay with it, then I guess it must be okay then.
I don't know if they're okay with it. I think they've
Well, just
resigned
like
to
you
the
said, they're
fact
just waiting. They're waiting to strike, right?
they're
But where
trying
are
to
the
figure out.
solutions? Where are their solutions? Why strike on Trump? What are your solutions? What's the alternative?
I
Nothing.
think that at the present moment, when you have a dictator in power, you have to really figure out your next move, because anything you do he's going to turn the Department of Justice against you and go after you with them, because that's what he's
Like they
done
went
to
after
any.
him? The same way they went after him, right? They're scared that he's going to come back for you, Letitia James. The same way you came for him. But he's just waiting like this to see how this plays out with the hypocrisy. The stuff they accused Donald Trump of is the same thing they've been doing the whole time. Surprise, surprise. AOC said tax the rich, but she's a millionaire. Isn't she rich too? So that's what I'm saying. The hypocrisy.
Being rich and evading taxes are not exactly the same thing. I don't know how you draw correlations with things that don't exactly, like the things you say, your wordplay, or you're MAGA. You're turning more and more MAGA every time we talk.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna skip the Iranian conflict. Iran basically said to the U.S., "Yo, you feeling froggy? I dare you to leave." And so now it's like, instead of reducing the conflicts around the world, they're increasing.
Are they?
Yes.
So
When Biden was in office, was there a Gulf of Arabia instead of a Gulf of Persia? Was
that's an
there?
argument. But hey, under Biden, we did pull out Afghanistan and they did take our weaponry. Isn't that true? Under Biden, Russia did
Okay,
invade
wait.
Ukraine.
Let me address the first one. You said he pulled out of Afghanistan. You don't like the way he did it, but the fact is he did
Okay. Let's go to the next point. Russia invaded Ukraine. That would never happen under Trump. Never would have happened under Trump. And he proved it.
That
For
sounds
4
like Trump.
years, that never happened.
That did not happen under Trump.
Under Trump, Israel and Iran and Gaza would have never happened. Because remember, he moved the capital to Jerusalem and there were crickets. Like, oh no, Trump moved the capital of Jerusalem, Israel. It's going to be World War III, everybody. Crickets. Nothing happened. But under Joe Biden, they got froggy on October 6th, didn't they? And they did that. And then Sleepy Joe did nothing and liked it, but kept pumping more money and weapons to Israel.
So the war would have never happened under Trump, but now that it started, Russia's like,
he has 4 years record, Leo. He has a 4-year record.
yeah, it seems like Vladimir Putin is like, yeah, stop me. Yeah. We'll talk.
Wars are messy. This happened under the previous administration, and Trump now has to come clean it up.
Apparently, he doesn't have the capability to negotiate that deal.
Well, guess what? So far, he stopped our what? Military presence with our contractors. He did what? He stopped our funding. He did what? He stopped our shipments of weaponry over there.
He also increased his net worth over $500 billion in his first 100 days in office.
If that equals peace, we're okay with it.
So, grifting, stealing,
God,
cutting deals for himself. He made $500 billion his first 100 days in office. In 4 months, he increased his net worth over $500 billion. That's crazy. How could you just sit back and be like, oh, well, it's all right?
It is what it is. But again, Democrats have no alternative and they're not going to impeach the man. So what are we talking here? At the same token, Biden and the rest of the gang, they became millionaires. When they should have six-figure salary, they're becoming more and more millionaires, these guys in Congress, these career politicians. Well, there you go.
Well, we're getting ready to get into some of these horrific things.
What
We
horrific
spoke
thing
about
this time going to scare us with?
this time. I'm gonna scare us with. Oh man, let me see. I got to get to that, but not now. Let me see if I do it this way. That's CNBC. I want Fox. Why can't I find it with Fox? Why won't Fox give numbers?
They love Donald J. Trump.
Yeah. All they gotta do is report.
Let's see what we got over here. All right, it's time for me to get back to normal because Leo is going to do his thing. So back to being Clark DM.
I think I might have found it. The food stamp thing. Okay.
Come on, you got a fair hatred for Trump. It's got to be on the internet somewhere.
Okay, this might be. Well, I'm trying to find. Everybody's reporting on it. I'm just looking for Fox News to give the numbers, because they're supporting Trump, so they don't want to give whatever the real numbers. Okay, so let's try cuts to food stamps. Let's try this because it's next on the list, and I really do got to cover this. We got to talk about it. And
Trump must be doing something bad. He has to find it on the internet. Ask AI, ask GPT, ask.
Oh no, no. I found it on. It came right up on AI, but AI is not the news. I mean, it came right up on AI. On AI, it says custom food stamps, also known as SNAP, are being proposed by several government officials, primarily through changes to Farm Bill and budget reconciliation process. These proposals could lead to reductions in SNAP benefits, changes to eligibility requirements, potentially increased costs of states to administer the programs. Because that's what he's doing. He's trying to put the stuff on the states.
Is Donald Trump's name mentioned in that?
Not there, no.
Exactly. But he must be behind it.
You're right. I forgot to put his name so that we can be inclusive.
That's right. Put a face to the name. God damn it.
Right. Because I can't believe this is remarkably unbelievable. Like
Trump is actually not involved the way we need to believe.
Okay, there's Congress Benny Thompson.gov. This is a .gov. But you don't want it from a congressman, right? Would a congressman work? Would you accept it from a congressman? Would you accept it from a congressman?
What, the Donald Trump did or the congressman did it?
That Trump's administration is a cut. Would you accept it from a congressman? It's a .gov website. Will you accept that?
Democrat or Republican?
Benny Thompson, probably a Democrat. So no, right? Okay. So
where's the objectivity at? Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat, by the way.
Huh? Oh, he's a Republican?
No.
Benny Thompson?
No, I said Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat.
Oh.
No. A lot
No.
of people don't know that.
How about DC News? Who are they? Would you accept DC News?
Is Donald Trump mentioned?
Yes.
Share the screen, Leo. Let's humor our viewers that have been waiting so long for you to prove that
I
Donald
mean,
Trump is so evil.
I'm not trying to prove Donald Trump is evil. I'm simply reporting the news.
That he's going to cut Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security, right?
That's what's happening. That's what's happening. Trump administration proposes cuts to SNAP benefits.
2 days ago from DC News Now.
Okay. Proposed plan includes $230 billion in cuts over the next decade, along with stricter work requirements and increased oversight by states. That's what I said. But where are the actual numbers? President Trump is rightfully, so this is guys on your side, requiring the federal government
to assess, to all programs it funds to access. President Trump rightfully requiring federal government to have access to all federal government programs that it funds. That makes sense. For years, this program has been on autopilot with no USDA insight into real-time data. You know that the Department of Agriculture is actually over the food stamp program family, and so far they've just been cutting checks, but not actually see where the earmarks were going. And that's exactly what he's trying to do. Audit, audit, audit.
Okay. Says the impact her state would be especially severe. My district in Ohio, 1 in 5 households rely on SNAP, including 1 in 3 Black households, she added. So,
here we go with the guilt and shame. Time to play the race card.
well, 1 in 5 households, if you want to count white people.
Well, that's true. So then, once again, back to Trump's point, he doesn't care if white people be affected. Let's just see what's going on here with the USDA not having oversight of the money and funding and food that's been pumping out with the blank check. Let's see where the earmarks are going back to the states. What are you doing with our money? Is it going directly to the families? Is it going to migrants, which you say it's not supposed to? Because if so, we're going to have to put a freeze on this money and have to reevaluate. Make sense? Makes sense to me.
Well, no, he doesn't care if you're Black or white. It's not about race. He's a sociopath. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. What's going to put money in his pocket? He can't.
It's about the United States Department of Agriculture having oversight of its money that goes into SNAP. That's it. Said it right there.
Trump backs House GOP bill slashing $1 trillion from what?
That's February.
Oh, cuts to Medicaid.
That's February.
Oh, my bad. So back in February, he was doing this. Okay, my bad. My bad. I went back too far. The fact that he said one thing and did another, we can go back to February and see he's been doing this since he's been in office. He's been working at this.
Just like Bill Maher said, that's just Trump being Trump.
What he said was one thing. What he did was he back cutting Medicaid. That's not Trump. And why is he cutting all of this?
Nothing's
to fund the tax cuts that benefit the wealthy.
You mean the
one from his first administration
that they want him to increase the child tax credit because the American birthing rate is low?
That's something he's promising. That's Trump being Trump. That's not what he did. He said, "Yeah, I'll do this for you. I'll do that for you. I'll give you the moon, sun, planet, and here's the key to the Brooklyn Bridge."
On tips. No taxes on oil.
Yes.
And no
I will kiss your baby.
Security.
But the reality is that's what he's He's making these promises. But what he did his first time in office was cut the tax cuts to the wealthy. That's his track record.
Prove it. The Democrats' track record is that they take money from billionaires that got their taxes cut, alleged to this guy about Trump. They control the Democratic Party, those oligarchs. Nobody uses oligarch in the regular language, by the way. Oh, first. Here we go.
Well, you said prove it. My typing is messing up.
Homeworld keys.
It's just had a microphone in the way.
You might want to change the date under your tools to prove your point.
The Trump tax law was skewed to the rich. That center on budget and policy. 2 days later, corporations, not workers. Public reconsider to commit the tax cuts. When is this? 2025. Why is that?
You have to go up to the tools at the top and change the date of the search. On the right side, it says tools. You see not there. Get off that.
No, it's
tools. Click. Now you see it went down above there. It's on the left side. It says anytime. You see anytime?
Oh, right.
Look at this. Neon's helping you trying to load the gun to shoot him. Here we go, family. We're about to go to a time warp.
I didn't want to do all of this today.
Do the time warp again. It's just a jump to the left. And then step to the right. Put your hands and bend your knees in tight.
See, when I called it trumped up trickle down economics, which was Reaganomics. Under Reagan, he said that if we give tax cuts to the rich, it'll trickle down. Trump tried to reinstate that failed policy in Trump 1.0. It didn't work, but he gave the tax break to the rich. That was his entire tax plan. That was everything. That was his tax plan. And it'll trickle down. This is reporting on it not trickle down. Cuts help billionaires pay less. I mean, I'm looking for one that you'll accept. Tax the rich, slash spending. Republicans invested with economic priorities in the Trump era. Republicans lay out early. I'm not even expanding on the success of the Trump tax
That's
cuts, which is what?
2024. You're still in 2024.
Oh, it did that. Why?
Go back up. I guess you did it wrong. Go back. No, what are you doing? All right. So from 2020, now pick a date. All right, go.
I don't
No,
know
no,
what
no, go
just
back.
happened. 2016 to 2020. It's fine.
Okay.
This one says 24, but I don't know why this one says 24. The rest of them are in the right range. I don't know why it's. All right. President Donald Trump achieved the biggest tax cuts. President Trump cut the corporate taxes 35% to 21%, largest percentage point reduction of the top marginal rate in history. This is what he did. This is what he did. This is Trump 1.0. That's what he did. Tax cuts for the rich. That's what Trump did. And these are the tax cuts he's trying to save right now. That's why he's cutting Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security, because the only place he can get the money for these cuts.
Oh, that's wonderful. Wonderful. Donald Trump is at it again, everybody.
No, these are this is what we've been talking about. Those of us who read since he's gotten in office. This is what he did the first time. I called it trumped up trickle down economics his first term. Because it's trickle down economics. He straight up said that's what it was. He wasn't trying to hide it. People just really believed it was going to trickle down. But that's what it was anyway. To argue it is inconsequential. Every article I find says the same thing. So everybody's lying on Trump because Trump's a wonderful guy and the world's against him. He did. Mattel said they're not going to pay these crazy tariffs. They leaving. They out. What does Mattel make? Oh, toys. Strollers have gone up. Baby beds. Anything dealing with children is going to skyrocket in prices. All made in China, right?
Mattel.
But you know what? Mattel also. But you know what? It's for the greater good. Anybody with kids, you suffer. It's for the greater good. Listen,
right. We're coming for your soda. We're coming for your kids' soda, guys. So
no. What Trump said was you don't need $5. You don't need $10. You only need 5. You don't need 150 pencils. You only need 5 pencils, and you might not be able to find them. That's what he said. He talked about dolls. He talked about pencils, and now he's talking about Mattel. He said we don't need them anyway. Well, don't they make Barbie? Like, it's talking about Mattel. Don't they make He-Man or whatever? Like, aren't they like, I'm old. Like, don't they make toys? So now you're not gonna be able to find baby strollers, toys, pencils. Like, no, that's coming out of Trump's mouth. This is not me. I haven't put my input yet. This is just me quoting Trump right now. When I put my input, it gets worse. This is Trump telling people it's temporary. They don't need these dolls. Meanwhile, he's made while he's telling you don't need these things for your children, he's put $500 billion in his own pocket.
And once again, the people aren't outraged enough, are they?
Yes, he's talking about doubling the child tax credit. So when everything costs you 5 times as much, getting $5,000 instead of $2,000 is going to help you.
You guys have been saying this for months now. When is the scary boogeyman going to get us, like you keep saying?
I'm not saying it. Trump is saying it.
Well, when is all these evil things going to happen?
They're already happening. Like right this moment, ships are coming over half full. They're being stopped at sea. Mattel's talking about they're not even coming here no more. Like, this is not something that's going on in the future. This is already happening. The effects are already starting to be seen. Amazon's told you can't put the difference in price. You know what? If there was no difference in price, they wouldn't have had nothing to put there in the first place. Who else? Do I have a list? I do believe I have a list. Oh, I'm a little early, but we're going to jump into the list. Deliveries to the U.S. Shipments containers are half full. planes are not coming to America. Shipments are 34% down from China. Amazon paused all incoming ships. If Amazon told them not to even come to the America, Amazon, later for Chinese companies, you're not going to be able to order from Amazon. They already stopped it. Five Below canceled 67 million shipments. That's half they stock. That's Amazon. These are the biggest providers in the US are talking about no mas. This isn't something in some terrible dystopian future. This is current events. This is what's happening as we speak. He goes with a meeting with China. He's like, we reached an agreement. China's like, who do I believe? I know you want to believe Trump because you're American, right? Let's believe Trump.
Why can't America win? If Trump wins everything he's talking about, America wins as a whole. But no, read it as it means.
I really hope he does because we are in trouble right now.
Whatever you're claiming, the general public, the proletariat, they don't care. They don't have buyer's remorse. They're happy with their decision for voting for Donald Trump. And no matter how much you scream and shout about how the sky is falling because of Donald Trump, we, not just MAGA, but regular folks, just aren't reacting the way that the media needs them to. That's the point.
I think the point is that you're right. And as the pain increases, the results of what he's done are going to start to reflect in all the Republicans that want to be reelected during the midterms.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time. So far, the blue team has no. Actually, their polls are lower than Uncle Trump's, so they should worry about their own elections because they're not going to be able to beat a Republican anything in the midterms if their polls are lower than the evil Donald Trump.
That's true, but if Donald Trump keeps shooting himself in the foot like he's doing right now, like that's what he did. One thing he did was brilliant. He said, "I'm gonna make a deal with the EU to set the tone to make more deals." He's a brilliant deal maker. He's a brilliant speaker.
Instead of a warmonger.
I mean, threatening other countries, the threats he's making are crazy.
Carry a big stick. Unlike Obama blowing things up, Clinton blowing things up, Biden's incompetence blowing all kinds of things up. He's like, nah, let's just cut a deal. I may test the red button just a little bit here. Let's just talk it out, fellas. Let me rename a few things. How's that sound? Let's argue about renaming things and me trolling than actually picking up a gun and actually going out there trying to invade another country or blowing something up. Let's just be on the internet. Let me troll each other. Let's just talk shit all day, every day. And that sounds fun.
Unless you're brown. If you're brown like the Houthis, like in Gaza, you will attack you. Iran, we'll bomb you. Nobody else. Only if you're brown.
Well, again,
you're Mexican. You're if you're Spanish, get out the country. If you're brown.
Oh God. Long story short, people still don't care. There's no public inquiry. All the activists are running out of black people to do activism stuff with. So black people staying home don't care. Isn't that great? All the social justice.
We don't have to do anything because most of the intelligent black people are looking and they're saying, oh, white people are going to handle this for us. Because this is going to.
They have to parade the Karen using the N-word against the autistic kid on loop in your face to get the black people all riled up. But it's not
working. No. We didn't just get riled up for that. We got riled up because of the amount of support she received from your people. Well, she made $700,000. Yo, what would you do with $700,000 right now?
It's all on the internet. Nobody's marching anymore. So there won't be a summer of 2020. Everybody's just on the internet yakking at each other. And that's the way it is. People are just home, complacent, and don't care.
They gave her, she made $700,000 calling an autistic child nigger. And
in the streets.
The fact that you support that makes me very sad for you.
I don't support anything. I'm just trying to bring up the point that not a priority, great scheme of things to get black people all riled up anymore. You can't just jingle and say racism over here, black people go get it. That's not working anymore because we're so much independent thinkers. It's like, you know what? we have bigger problems than that, just one little situation over there. Whereas around the corner, somebody just got shot. I just see it on my Citizen app in front of my face. On my subway, this the world's largest homeless shelter. Yet they're trying to increase my fare from $2.90 to $3. And then if I hop the turnstile, they want to arrest me. Wait a minute, my subway system paid a multi-million-dollar contract to Allied Universal Security just to make sure people don't jump the turnstile. But they claim they don't have any money. This is happening to me right now personally, but you're trying to tell me, look over there at Karen. No, look over there what Donald Trump's doing. When you right here, you Democrats are pulling the wool right over my eyes. Not working anymore.
Well, I did not know that was happening. Allied Security got that
Exactly, because
contract.
they're gonna put this Karen in your face.
Because I'm not in New York.
Exactly. Pay attention. All politics is local. Like in New Jersey, there's a governor's race, isn't it? But you wouldn't know that because they say, look over there, that evil Donald Trump. Hopefully they'll vote Democrat.
Well, they just arrested Donald Trump's people. ICE just arrested probably the front runner for the governor's race, actually.
Well, there you go.
So he's making a statement when he tried to go into see those citizens and immigrants,
You mean
and
the mayor of
ICE
Newark?
arrested him.
The man who'll die for migrant?
Baraka.
Yo, black ass. Is that interesting? These black elected officials will die and take a bullet for a migrant. Not your black ass. They just gonna jiggle that reparation in your face, throw some freaking fried fish at you like Clyburn in South Carolina, and like, come on, y'all, we in for the fight. But unfortunately, Black America is not falling for it again.
We don't have to. We don't have to fall for anything. We're wide open, awoke, and seeing, not woke, but awoke, and seeing what's about to happen. We know that this country is not going to continue being able to go like this, and it's not going to be us that's going to act up. It's going to be them that acts up, and the reason the white people are going to act up is because they're affected more. So if we go in the streets marching, they'll tear gas us, but you got marches going across the nation now. They're not getting tear gassed. They're getting, and as this thing gets worse, it's going to get worse. And then maybe we'll go outside and join them, and maybe we won't. But we're not going to lead the march and get tear gassed again.
That's because people that were leading into the tear gas were the white liberals. That had nothing to do with Donald Trump, did it? And remember, Malcolm X, everybody loves him, right? He said the white liberals are a bigger threat than the racist, evil white people over there. Isn't that great? But now the white liberals realize they can't just use Black America as a token totem pole to batter ram all the issues of LGBT, migrant, you know what I mean, progress. No, not anymore. The Black people are just going to sit home, especially the Black women, and just watch it play out.
The amount of pain that's going to be caused in this country at this point.
All the hypotheticals.
It's happening. Like, I don't understand. Like, when I'm like, ships are coming through half full and being stopped, and Amazon's turning shipments around mid-sea, like the ships are on the way, but turning around and going back.
I represent the the silent majority that just doesn't care. No matter how much you yell at us and say all these things are happening in our world, it just keeps spinning. So until you guys improve your messaging to convince us again to be scared, or if the other team has better results to make us love them more so than the orange man, we're just going to be here like, whatever.
We don't have to do that. You're going to see, because
all you're going to see.
That's it. It's happening. Like, we're like, oh, wow, ships are turning around. Like, ships from your major distributors are turning around. These people, like, and we're saying that, and you're like, oh, well, we're not scared. That's like, yo, he has a gun. Yeah, he's just standing on the corner. Okay. I wouldn't go down that block if I was you. Yo, he just robbed the last 3 guys. Man, yo, I'm just going to the store. All right. Yo, you packing? Man, shut up. Okay. I'll catch you later. Word. Word. Like, we looking at y'all like, all right. And then you're going to come back with the black eye, your sneakers missing, and your gold chain ripped off. And you're going to be like, yo, that robbed me. And we're going to be like, say word. Say word. That's what's about to happen. You're about to get to say word. When the find out is going to be, when you find out, we're going to say word. Yo, that really happened? No. Prices went up. No, for real. Yo, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. We're waiting to tell you. Say word.
Yes, that's right. Wait as long as you can. But in the meantime, Trump is just going to truck along.
In the meantime, we're all going to suffer because y'all didn't. Because y'all, I don't know, y'all just are like la 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 la. I wouldn't
60% of
walk.
America is growing. But on the other hand, again, what is the alternative over here? On top of that, what are you guys going to say to us? Not just MAGA, but all people over here that just don't care or support Trump that's not MAGA. What are you going to say to us to scare us straight or get us to
We're
come?
not going to say anything. We're just going to, because there's nothing to say to somebody who's had their mind made up. It's kind of like there's this thing, right? Right? Like Trump believes that Christopher Columbus discovered America, whatever stupidity he believes, right? And he's trying to shove down our kids' throats, right? And if you teach a kid these kind of false doctorates at a young age, especially during particular ages between either 2 and 5, and I believe it's 10 and 12, which we call, what is it called? It's been a while since I studied this. You have to forgive me. Formative years. Something forms and it becomes very difficult to resist, even when facts are shown to you. I can show you the facts, and you're like, yeah, but I believe this, despite the facts proving that what you believe is wrong. It's called cognitive dissonance. It's when I can show you all the facts in the world, and you're like, yeah, 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 yeah. And that's what's happening
with
now.
that, instead of puberty blockers for gender affirming care that will have even more physical and psychological damage long term than that. Because a boy is a boy and the girl is a girl, according to Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. But if you psychologically convinced that a boy can be a girl and a girl could be a boy, I wouldn't like that either. But if you want to say
I happen to agree with you 100%.
If Christopher Columbus discovering America on paper hurts your feelings and you think that's worse than what I just said, then that's on you. Anytime, let's see what Trump does today.
Well, my response to that is it's all bad. And if you're comparing one to the other, it's apples and oranges. Just because one's bad doesn't make the other one any less
Apple
bad.
could be an orange, and the orange could be apple. How about that?
That was good.
All about wordplay. But in the meantime, Leo, let's go to the next episode. Is that it for today?
I believe it is. I hope you enjoyed, even though it took me a while. I couldn't find the articles I was looking for on the Fox News, and I had to go to the rest of the
Fathers
world.
could be mothers, and mothers could be fathers. That's the world we're living in.
Yo, listen, I do both jobs. I don't claim to be no mom though. I ain't got no breastises.
Birthing person, birthing person. Men can
I'm
have
not
birth too. Gender
listen.
fluidity, intersectionality, and all that stuff.
Yo, if you enjoyed the episode, want to see more discussions as we move forward to see how this is actually going to play out, please like, share, subscribe. We're trying to get to 10,000 viewers. Please support us. Help us get to 10,000. Leave a comment. We reply to everybody. Dion, I believe you have your own business, and
Dion
you just
at
showed.
nyconsultant.us. That's Dion at nyconsultant.us. Some people are so happy that I'm doing a podcast now to share my sage wisdom with the world. So thank you, Mr. Sanderson, and also the think tank. That's it for this. Full plug.
All right, thanks for coming. It's always a pleasure to have you. Our little banter back and forth be fun and educational. I'm sure a lot of people actually tune in and learn. We've gotten 5,000 subscribers in less than 5 months. Some people are enjoying what we're saying, and they're tuning in to hear and learn and see exactly what's going on. They want to hear from us, and thank you for all the support. Please continue to support us. Thank you, Dion, for giving the community that we're building opportunity to hear from a MAGA perspective. All right, this is LC, your host, signing out.